came out early for this video this morning. I thought I'd get a sunrise in because, let's be honest, I said a few weeks ago that I'd done my last, but you never go and really keep me away from doing them when I can. As you can see, however, we've got a drab, cloudy, grey sky. Nothing remotely interesting in terms of that lovely morning light. Got a nice subject matter in the background though. It's not a bad way to start the day. I can't believe my luck. I'm having to whisper here because there's some deer just in the far distance. You're not going to be able to see them even if I have the camera facing in that direction, but I've got a couple of them. Let's get the camera turned on. They're just having their morning breakfast. Oh, this is stunning. This is stunning. Annoyingly, one of them's facing away from me at the moment, but when I said about coming to new ground, I did not expect this. Anyways, good morning. How you doing? I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I'm bored, not of making videos and content for YouTube, but, and you might be the same, but do you ever feel that kind of when you go out, you're kind of going to the same old locations, to the same spots, you learn where the compositions are, you don't feel as though you're challenging yourself, you feel like your photography is almost stagnating a little bit because of course you're always going to the same spots. It's one reason why I've started doing challenges like what you saw last week, but instead this morning I thought, you know what, let's come out somewhere new. I was poring over Google Maps the last couple of days and I'm like, where shall I go? So I thought I'd come out somewhere new that involves a little bit of a hike, involves hopefully getting some new compositions in. Some of these spots I've never even been before, so we might not even find anything, but that's what makes photography interesting, isn't it? You don't just go to the same spots all the time. So having scouted my route on Google Maps, this was the first shot that I wanted to share with you today. Love how we've got this path leading us down. We've got this clump of trees almost in the midground. It's almost standing out from the rest of the background. And I just love how the path curves around the front of it. I actually got, of course, private farmland over here on the left. Some nice orchards that kind of, again, bring us some leading lines back towards us. And then of course we've got the rolling hills going off the right into the distance. As you can see, I'm not using the tripod. I've got it with me, but I'm not using the tripod at the moment, so I'm using higher ISOs. As we're getting a bit more light, I'm able to bring that ISO down, but at the moment I'm shooting ISO 500. It's giving me a shutter speed of 1/100th of a second, and that's an average of 5. So I could even maybe bring the ISO down a little bit, but it doesn't hurt to be cautious. Onwards and upwards we go. Go and show my lack of fitness before the end here, aren't I? As you can see, it's perhaps not the best of days in terms of conditions for photography. It's a bit hazy, a bit cloudy, a bit foggy. over the distant hills. So I could do with a bit of blue sky, a little bit of atmosphere in the sky. I don't think I'm going to get it till a little bit later though, which is a shame. But if anything, this is a great scouting opportunity. Hills are lovely, the way they kind of crisscross in the distance there. Of course, if you've seen me taking images but not sharing them on this trip out so far, I advise I do produce a midweek video if you've not had a chance to see it yet. Put last Wednesday's in the description. But basically what I do is I go over these extra images that I take. I don't like to bombard any video with more than a couple of images if I can help it. So I share one or three, four maybe on here, and then of course on the midweek video I'll go over others, explain why I took them, explain what I dislike about them. So if you've not had a chance to watch that as yet, give it a go. So where are we exploring today, I hear you ask? This is the North Downs Way. It's a walking route that's about 150, 180 miles between Farnham in Surrey. It takes you over the Surrey Hills, through woodland, through fields, through the magnificent countryside here in the south of England, all the way to Dover in Kent, the coast. Now you're probably wondering, if it's the coast, why am I not down there shooting this piece? We all know how much I love the coast after all. Well, I've been down there a little bit too much of late, haven't I? And it comes back to just doing something a little bit different. So here we are. It's a bit, the fog continues to roll in over the hills, which is a little bit disappointing, but never mind. It's still a lovely warm day. If there is one tool that's underrated for photographers, it's Google Maps. Using Street View, I was able to pinpoint spots like this before I came out, so I already had composition ideas in my head, so I knew it wouldn't really be a wasted trip. For this second shot, we've got these 4 pylons disappearing into the foggy distance. Again, I'd preferred nicer colours, I'd preferred a nicer bit of light, but I deal with what I've got. Got some lovely wildflowers in the foreground. All this because I jumped on Google Maps before I came out here, and of course the Street View, I guess they walk along here with, of course, the pictures being taken. I don't know how they do it, but of course I was able to trace pretty much the whole of the North Downs Way, knowing where to go. Like I say, I've never been in this field before, and if it wasn't for my GPS, I'd probably be lost right about now. Onwards to our final destination. So we've reached our end goal and the weather's defeated me. The fog, the hazy conditions have meant we can't see our end goal. From this viewpoint, we should be able to see up to 30 miles away. We should be able to see the distant skyscrapers of London, the Shard, Canary Wharf. As it is, beyond this tree line, all we've got is fog. It's not been the worst trip in the world. I've got some exercise in, I've got some great shots. I'll share an image that I've previously taken of this view just to emphasise the point. But for now, I'll see you next time. Next week we're doing part 2 of the North Downs Way. So until then, bye for now. Now I've just got to walk home.